You make me sad. You make me strong. You make me mad. You make me love you for you. You make me live. You make me die. You make me loud. You make me cry. You make me laugh.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Monday, November 27th, 2023. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tas Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
And over yonder, the man making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he
What's
is, and here we are. What an excellent cold open to start the week.
So good.
Had me giggling away there. Got funnier and funnier as it went on.
That's good.
Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Smash that like button and subscribe. Just Tas and I here today at the desk talking about the NBA weekend. TK, he is in Disney World. It is the world here in Orlando, right? The land is in LA. I always mix that up.
Yeah, I've been there multiple times, and I also mix that up.
Yeah, you've been to the world.
I've been to the world.
Have you been to the land as well?
Never to the land.
Okay.
I hope to go there and Pebble Beach one day. That's what I think of when I think of Disneyland. I'd rather be at Pebble Beach.
Very random.
I'd rather see the tree.
Sure,
Josh.
Sure. Nature, beautiful. Oh, yes, excellent. A lot of things in LA, California.
Yeah.
But yes, TK gone all weekend with his family, gonna have a blast there. Hey, maybe he can fit in some time to check out the Orlando Magic. Because they're hot. We'll get to them. But before we get to our winners and losers of the weekend, this is your final day to take advantage of the big sales. I'm talking big sales going on over at breakingt.com, nodunks.com. All hoodies site-wide are 20% off. And a bunch of No Dunks merch there has been discounted as well. It's Cyber Monday.
Yeah, you ready to spend some money?
Oh, that's all I've done all weekend, ever since Friday. I just spend. But anyway, there are some good deals there. I know we're half mocking it, but hey, a discounted shirt's a discounted shirt. A 20% off hoodie like this, which is a classic factory hoodie, go take advantage of that. Yeah, hit that link in the show notes, all you podcast listeners, all you YouTubers. Okay, we have some wedgies to tell you about. They both involved the Bulls. One way back on Wednesday night, because we didn't have a show there for a couple days at the end of the week. Josh Giddey, who had he had an interesting weekend, didn't he? But he had a wedgie, and then we had Javon Carter with a wedgie as well. So,
Our first weekend with two wedgies.
Yeah, again, this was a very long
It was a long weekend.
Yeah.
It wasn't much of a weekend.
Yeah, those were Wednesday and Friday nights, and we're up to 6.
It's up to 6. Pace is 34. I think players are just too good these days.
Oh, that's what's happened, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Because this would be the lowest rate in the modern era.
Yeah.
Well, the modern era is totally subjective. We don't really know.
We tracked it.
Since we tracked it a decade ago, it would
Yeah.
be by far the lowest rate. I think players are used to shooting shots, but at the same time, we could get a hot week.
Well, we had a lot. Yeah, that's right. They come in bunches,
Yeah.
so we could definitely have 3 or 4, and over a 2-night span. And we had the new ball last year. That was our working theory, right?
Oh, right.
A stickier ball was resulting in more wedgies. Yeah, maybe they have gotten a little more accustomed to the ball. I don't know. We're just throwing it out there. Let's just pray for more wedgies, okay? But we're up to 6. Okay, let's get into weekend winners. Play along if you're joining us live on YouTube. Let's hear your winners. Tas, get us started. Where are you going?
We had a lot of great shots this weekend. We're going to get to a lot of them. The Magic are great, as you said. The Wolves are great.
Yeah.
We'll get to so many. But let's start with the hot Phoenix Suns, because it was just about one shot for me watching them in Madison Square Garden with the big one, because they haven't played with their big 3 once this year, and Durant was out again for the second straight game. So it was all about Devin Booker. The Knicks played him pretty tough throughout the entire game, throwing guys at him.
Yeah.
But when it was tied, time ticking down, Devin Booker had the ball, and he was way beyond the three-point line. He gave it up to Jordan Goodwin, and it looked like for the Suns, who could get a 2-shot and win the game, they could fly into the lane. But Jordan Goodwin also beyond the three-point line, threw it back to Devin Booker, and Devin Booker used Goodwin as a screen a little bit and went up to the three-point line and hit a shot where he was fading to his right.
Cool.
A very tough shot. He had Randall, he had Barrett sort of in his face, and as he was fading away from the arc, he banged home that 3 to hit the game winner. and ice it. They have won 7 games in a row, and without their big three playing together, Booker could just be incredible, and he could be their best point guard as he was in this game, had 11 assists in this game, and no Bradley Beal, who's going to be the shooting guard, I suppose, when he comes back and plays with Booker. They got to figure that thing out.
Yeah.
Because here we are. It's not quite quarter of a season yet, but we're getting close to that, and the Suns just relying on a bunch of deep guys with Devin Booker and Eric Gordon, who had 25 in this game. I wonder with Kevin Durant, the whole Kevin Durant thing, he did practice pretty hard before this game.
Yeah.
Like, he warmed up on that foot that is hurt. Unlike Bradley Beal, who's going to be out weeks, you expect Kevin Durant to come back. But again, they're going to be at the quarter mark, getting close to Christmas and having not played a game. But they looked so freaking good. They go into Madison Square Garden with Booker doing his thing. Kind of look like playoff Booker again. And they win. The road record is 7-2, which I'm shocked by. That's damn good. But I'm starting to see playoff Suns, without having played all together, but they do have enough depth around these guys, and that's why I bring it up. And they could board against these Knicks, who are so freaking good on that end. They can play big enough.
Booker shot absolutely deserving of the Father Stretch My Hands Part 1 treatment, the Kanye song where it builds and builds and builds, and then it goes in and it explodes.
Yes.
Felt like it, because you're right. He has it. They did do a great job of taking the ball out of his hands throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
But he's okay with that.
Yeah.
He's point book. I think he's averaging 9 assists per game. He's one of the leaders in the league.
That's 9, yeah.
But yeah, then got it back a little too easily. But man, when you hit a shot like that, you can't play it much better. The guy's fading in front of the opponent's bench. There, Randall's there, RJ's there. The hand is up, and he just rises up and fades away, hits it. Almost no reaction from him at all. Mm-hmm. This is what he does against the Knicks. Yeah. He scores 30 points per game against them. I know there was a screen grab going around of it's Wilt and it's Jordan and Durant and Kobe and Booker, guys that have scored over 30 points per game against the Knicks, average. Mm-hmm. But an incredible shot, and close to falling and tying the game, Brunson, with 2 seconds to go. He sort of it was a weird shot where he sort of spun and just threw it up, and that thing almost dropped. But yeah, what a run here from Booker, obviously, from the Suns without having their big three, and you slipped it in there. Your guy that you love, Eric Gordon. I mean, you loved him way back in the Clippers days. 25 points. He's had a couple of these games where he's obviously just hitting threes and contributing enough offensively for them. He was great in this one.
Yeah, and on our Thanksgiving show, I called him the cranberry sauce.
That's right.
Because he is all reliable.
You did.
You have cranberry sauce on every table. You may not love it. You may not love Eric Gordon, but he knows how to hit shots. Talking about players that don't have wedgies over the years. He has learned. We've gone through the numbers. He's just grown into a three-point shooter over and over and over again. He's incredible here, subbing in. He was 6 of 9 from three-point land in this game. I think the thing that the Knicks could have done is gotten the ball out of Booker's hands. He was well beyond the three-point line, but I guess they were scared, as I brought up, of anybody getting in two-point land.
Yeah, it was a tie game.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were just trying to take away a three.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you maybe play it differently. I mean, look, they got it out of his hands, and then he was
kinda.
okay, I'm just going to go get it right back.
You just went and got it right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you brought up teams that are doing so well. Durant hasn't lost in New York in over a decade, which is a weird stat.
How many teams?
He's played for good teams.
But different teams.
OKC and Golden State, and he played for one. Yeah. The Suns has just got it together. They do have a good... And the fact that the Knicks, they play it real slow, that's what they do, but they play it real big. They're a great defensive rebounding team, and they're a great offensive rebounding team. And that's where I wonder with the Suns and their starter of Nurkic and who their backup is with Drew Eubanks. Do they have enough size? In this one, that impressed me, that they were able to board with the Knicks, and Durant is a 4 who wants to play real big in the playoffs. So I'm thinking of this team in the postseason. We'll talk about great teams here. But this postseason collection of guys, if they get some reps together, they need to play together.
Yeah, that's going to be on one hand, you're oh my God, they're 11-6. They're near the top of the Western Conference standings, despite their big three not playing all at the same time. That's good. The flip side of that is they got to get some reps together. They have to play together at some point, right? At some point in this season. And when they all three do play, will there be growing pains in terms of Obviously Booker is their point guard, but let's get into the flow of things, getting their shots, and it sort of trickles down to all the other guys too that are contributing.
Yeah.
Their minutes are reduced, their roles are probably reduced, and you got to figure that out. But I guess, look, I think most Suns fans, if you had said that big three you got during the summer, they haven't played at all, and you're going to be an 11-6, winning 7 in a row, I think you're going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to be happy with that.
Yeah. I just had some flashbacks to the Nets big three. They look great when they hadn't played together.
Right.
But then Kyrie gets hurt and Harden gets hurt and Durant's toes are too big against the Milwaukee Bucks as he hits a shot that could have been a three-pointer, but it was a two-pointer because his shoes are large. Because they're so skinny, he goes large. Anyway, will Bradley Beal be able to stay healthy in the postseason?
Right.
That's the question because he hasn't been.
No.
And that was some sort of a big story coming into this season. Oh, Bradley Beal hasn't played the last 2 years, which I shot down. I thought, okay, he has taken some games off because the Washington Wizards aren't an incredible team, but the back is a back.
The back is the back.
Yeah,
that's not one you want to hurt. That's right. Okay, let's keep it going here. I want to give the Houston Rockets a winner of the weekend. They only played one game over the weekend. We're not really counting here Wednesday and Thursday and all that, but they played on Friday night. Got a big win thanks to Jalen Green, 25 points. Alperen Şengün, awesome, 21-14. This guy is on a run. And they helped lead Houston to the 105-86 win over the Denver Nuggets. Mm-hmm. This was an in-season tournament game. Udoka said the game plan was to try and make Jokic beat them. Guard everybody else, right? Just don't send double and triple teams at Jokic. Play him one-on-one as much as you can with your Şengün and whoever got matched up on him, and keep everybody else in check. And it did work. I mean, Jokic had a monster line, but no one else really, popped off for the Nuggets. Houston improved to 2-1 in the tournament. Denver eliminated from even advancing to the quarterfinals. And so the Rockets now play in Dallas on Tuesday night. And here's why they really get bumped up to a winner to me. Not just because of the victory, really nice victory. They're stringing together wins here. But over the weekend, Luka Doncic banged his left hand in the opening minute against the Clippers, on a steal. I think he banged it off Harden's knee or something. He's grabbing at it right away. He kept playing in the game, but he underwent x-rays at halftime. They were negative, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to play in this Tuesday night game. His hand was heavily bandaged. They're going to do it again, take another look at it, and they're not playing to advance either in the IST. So my point is the Rockets are set up pretty nicely here. They're on the road where they stink. They're in Dallas, like I said. But if there's no Luka and they win that game, Houston does, they advance and move on from being the winners of their group play. If they lose, the Pelicans advance. So it's a huge game. And they're helped out here because, we'll wait and see if Luka plays on Tuesday night. But my gut would say he wouldn't.
That's fair.
Right? I mean, again, they're not playing to move on, the Mavericks, because they started so slowly in group play. And, it's your superstar player, and it's a badly hurt hand. You're going to give him a little bit of time to rest here. So it could be a very, very good, it was a winner of the weekend of the Rockets, but that could continue this week.
Yeah, that Dallas Clippers matchup was fun to watch because Luka Doncic was doing his thing and fighting through the injury, but also he had that one run down the lane where he was trying to guard Russell Westbrook, and Westbrook went right through him, and then Westbrook had an and one and basically said, "Go at him." You could read the mouth. Mm-hmm. Go at him, because he loves that what they've had there with the Clippers and the Mavericks and the Rockets and the Mavericks. He has a relationship with Luka. He likes to go at him. So
right.
that was super fun to watch. And let's give these Rockets some respect because they are a winless team on the road.
Yeah.
They have not won a game. They had that win streak at the beginning of the season, 6 in a row. They're 8-1, if I'm not mistaken, at home, and 0-5 on the road. But that 0-5 on the road that they went on after that 6-game win streak to a few of those games, it was a tough loss to the Clippers, a tough loss to the Lakers, and a tough loss to the Warriors. A 6-point loss, a 1-point loss, and a 5-point loss.
Yeah, they were in them.
Yeah, they were in them all the way down to the stretch. So you should consider this game up against the Mavericks, for them to be the favorite. I know the Mavs are playing fairly well, and they play extremely fast, but they don't play defense. I'm buying the Rockets. You broke it down on your Saturday pod about this in-season tournament and how it's all going to shake down in terms of the head-to-head and all that. I like the Rockets.
Yeah?
I do believe in them.
I like their chances a lot more now if Luka is
Right.
banged up or doesn't even play. And I guess we'll wait to see either today or maybe tomorrow what the status is with him. All right, let's get to the Orlando Magic.
Yes.
I know you got them on your list. They're just as hot as the Phoenix Suns. 7 in a row for them, too.
Trey better get to a game because at home, this team is tough to beat. This team just brings it with their deep team. And you may not go there and think, oh, this team is good offensively, because they're bad offensively at times. But they're such a good defensive team. They're so hard to play against. Couple games this weekend. Game 1 against the Celtics. They made it through, and they had some wicked plays, as I brought up earlier. Franz Wagner to Cole Anthony for an alley-oop. Cole Anthony got up with a great throwdown. And then in the third quarter, Jalen Suggs hit a couple threes as Orlando pulled away, and he waved goodbye to the Celtics with 1 minute left. He hit a three. And there's a lot of Celtics fans in Orlando.
Yes, yeah,
and
right.
so
They travel.
He turned around to the audience. He gave a bye-bye, which was neat. He only had 10 points, but a 39-22 fourth quarter for the Orlando Magic. And I like that he only had 10 points and only played 28 minutes in this game because I like how they get deep. Cole Anthony is great playing Anthony Black's minutes. Anthony Black is starting.
Yep.
Markelle Fultz is out. So they had Cole Anthony playing a ton of minutes. Mo Wagner came off the bench and scored 27. What a huge game. So there's that game. And then game 2, Sunday, they're playing Charlotte. Another great play. This is Cole Anthony, pick and roll with Franz Wagner. It looks like he's going to Franz Wagner, but he throws it into the corner, and that's where Jalen Suggs catches it. And his toes are almost on the baseline as he jumps and catches it, and it looks like if his heels go down, he's out of bounds, but he stays on his toes. He jumps straight up and hits a three. A ridiculous shot. That was a lot of fun to watch. And then just overall, again, Cole Anthony, although he's coming off the bench for Anthony Black, Anthony Black only played 20 minutes in those 2 games. Cole Anthony had 30 points. He was monstrous. Franz Wagner, I think he's starting to feel it a little bit, although he's had a good season. He started slow. He's getting a little bit better. This team has won 7 games in a row. They beat Charlotte. They beat Boston. And overall, as I said, Boston, Denver, Milwaukee, they've beaten. So some good wins. And, just to throw it in there, throw it in the Timberwolves as well. They're two teams that wouldn't have been expected to be up in the standings this early. I know we talked about it on our Wednesday Thanksgiving show, but to be this good this early is a little surprising.
Do you think Cole Anthony is the very early leader for Sixth Man of the Year? He's got to be on the short list here.
It's got to be on the list.
And you're right, he gets a lot of minutes. It's like almost sort of the Ginobili situation there where he still comes off the bench but plays a lot, but he really is contributing. That was a monster game, that second one. Yeah. And he's picking his spots like even in that Celtics win. And the Wagner brothers, somebody fact check me, like when's the last time 2 brothers on the same team had like back-to-back games where one went for 25 and then the other guy went for 25? I can't imagine that's happened a ton in NBA history, right?
Brothers.
Like brothers on the same team, back-to-back games, one 25 plus, the other 25 plus.
The Lopez's didn't do it.
I can't imagine.
They're playing Milwaukee's. The Antetokounmpos didn't do it.
No. The Holidays? Maybe.
Maybe, but probably not.
Yeah. And then I'm sure there's some other brothers forgotten brothers out there.
Magic, go back to the 50s, 60s. What was your... Did they play together, the Van
the twins.
Arsdales?
Yeah, the Van Arsdales must have done it. Dick and Tom. Yeah, for sure they did it. Magic, love that. Love a little love there for the Wolves as well. Yeah, these teams just continuing to get it done and pull together these winning streaks. I'm going to give some love to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, they played some crappy teams over the weekend.
Interesting.
But they got the W's. I have to give them a win of the weekend because they came back from a 26-point deficit against the Blazers on Sunday.
Yeah.
Giannis hit a sort of a tie-breaking tip-in. It was a weird thing. Like Bobby Portis sort of airballed a little hook shot when the ball sort of just ricocheted to him. But Giannis, Johnny on the spot there about 19 seconds ago. Giannis tips it in, and that helps Milwaukee overcome, again, a 26-point deficit to beat the Blazers 108-102. Right. So they're down 81-55 in the third quarter. You can never turn these games off. You just can't anymore. You can't say, oh, it's over, 25-point lead, good night. No, don't do it, everyone. So that is the biggest deficit overcome by any team this season. It's the Bucks' largest come-from-behind victory since 2012, so way back in the day. And Yeah, they played in another gross game before that against the Wizards. I mean, these games were way too close for comfort for the Bucks, but they picked them up, both victories here. And I will say, just to the Sunday game, really weird to see Dame time versus his old team.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It was jarring. He hit a big step back three in the final couple of minutes to tie things up. Then he stepped in and took a charge from Jeremy Grant, who was a little out of control. Then he picked up an assist to Beasley, who splashed a three. Birthday boy Beasley, they kept saying on the broadcast. And that gave Milwaukee a lead. And then Dame, iced it at the free throw line because he's basically a guaranteed free throw. The guy's, over his entire career, I bet he shoots 95% at the line in the fourth quarter. It feels like he never misses one. So, just weird to see it against his old team.
Yeah, and he did comment after the game. That was strange, playing my old team and handshaking with people I knew. But it was at home, so it wasn't as weird as if he was going back to Portland.
Yeah, true.
Which happens, as I look at the schedule, January 31st is the only time that they go there.
Okay.
I do want to comment just on the Bucks. They got a huge game from Brook Lopez in that first game against the Wizards. Looking great. Brook doesn't get enough respect in this league. But Chris Middleton was out after the tendinitis in his left Achilles.
Yeah.
And so he's been out a couple games. He had knee surgery in the offseason. He just had a lot of injuries. I just hope he gets back because he hasn't even played a lot in each game that he's played this season. They're playing him light, minutes restriction. So they rely on other guys. It's a weird scenario there with the Bucks in that they come back, like you just said. When they want to, they kind of look like a championship team. When they've got the experience, they're like, okay, let's get this together. But they haven't done it with Damian Lillard. So
can they win a championship without Middleton?
Yeah,
that's
a fair
the
question.
real question. And
yeah,
I don't think so. And what you have seen from him when he was playing in limited minutes, it didn't inspire you all that much. It's not like he was filling it up. He looks older. He looks like a guy coming off of injury, and now it's sort of he's back on the shelf there. So something to watch for sure. I will say in that Sunday game too against Portland, Portland appeared to have a chance to tie it up. I believe it was Brogdon that drove at Giannis. He blocked it, but he was called for the foul, and Griffin challenged it for the Bucks, and it was the right challenge. Back in Secaucus. They overturned it. They never show us Secaucus anymore. You ever notice that? Rarely.
At all?
Well, we used to always go to that camera in the headquarters. And everybody looking at monitors. We used to see that all the time. I feel like they don't show us anymore.
They do a little bit. I swear I saw it sometime.
They didn't on this one. But anyway, it was, I think, the right overturned call. There was very minimal contact. I mean, I think they got that one right. But it led to a jump ball situation because no one had possession of the ball, when they obviously then overturned it. So it's Brook Lopez and DeAndre Ayton, and it was one of these really gross jump balls where it went up, the guy sort of fought for it, but then it just sort of fell. And so then Brook sort of smacked it back, and luckily it went to Damian Lillard, and he got it, like I said, got fouled, hit the free throws. But I keep saying those these late game jump ball situations. These officials got to be better. It wasn't a great throw. We need a robotic. We need a Roomba to throw it up or something, or drop it from the ceiling. We need something a little more high tech.
I hope you can buy one for Cyber Monday right now.
Give me
the referees should be buying Roombas.
Right, and then sort of jigging them up somehow to shoot the ball up.
Let's do it.
I think it would just look cool. Wouldn't it be cool? Everyone's like, all right, here comes the Roomba.
Yeah.
Put the ball on it.
Yeah.
All right, fires it up.
Of course.
Perfectly straight.
It would look awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking of Secaucus and whether or not they were going to those shots right now. And even if they totally faked it, they just threw it on. They threw an old one in there. I would be swayed that it was done right there because they could Photoshop current shots on the screens of what the referees were looking at of tonight. But because I'm swayed every time. I believe
that's like the scene in the movie Speed when they're on the bus.
Yeah,
and they fake loop it, don't they? Yeah. The camera footage. You know what I'm talking about, JD?
Totally,
yeah, that's what they could do. Go ahead.
It's got to be a drone though, not a Roomba. You don't want something.
We've tried a drone with the NBA dunk contest. That went horribly.
That was 2016. Have you seen those displays of where there's 100 drones and the fireworks?
Yeah,
it's not fireworks, but they're very precise. There's no wind resistance, and you could put a camera. Wouldn't that be cool? Just seeing the ball just fall Like,
Okay, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, so-
but it does
Yeah.
change the dynamics of a jump ball where we obviously, since the start of doing jump balls, we throw it up.
Right.
Then it comes down, but you're saying just have that drone up there
Yeah.
and drop it. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, the drones
okay.
are they're just advanced. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I was in New Jersey, New York. I
You didn't go to Secaucus?
I saw the sign.
by? Oh.
I always see the sign of Secaucus on
Yeah.
the highway.
Yeah.
Get pumped for that. But I was at the Rockettes. Saw the Rockettes.
Wow.
And there was, air quotes, drones. There was ferries flying over
that's
the crowd, which was
Wow.
awesome.
That's cool.
See, we've had a bad taste in our mouth about drones,
Drones?
since, what was it, Aaron Gordon, right?
Yeah, what a nice memory.
Yeah, so, I mean, the technology has advanced
Yeah.
so amazingly. So.
Because I saw those drones and I thought, that must be hard to do. They're flying, literally almost flying over us
Right.
in circles. But Danielle's dad said, no, that's the easiest
They're
thing for
probably
them
just
to
computer
do.
programmed. Yeah.
They just hit one
Yeah.
and they just circle around. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And, now that I think back to that dunk contest performance, like, it wasn't really the drone's fault. No. It was like the human operating it because they had to release the ball and the timing of all. Yeah, okay. All right, well, we need a Roomba or a drone to do these jump ball situations. Let's do one more batch
One more quick one.
of winners from the weekend. Who you got?
We all know Christian and Scooby. Great halftime act. Christian pulls out Scooby, that little dog, does all its jumping, does all its things.
Yeah.
He was on the starters way back when. Every halftime he shows up, he does a great, incredible job.
Yep.
In Minnesota on Friday, after he does the handstands off those sort of risers, I believe they're called handstand canes, he took a bit of a quick tumble, but he was totally fine. He put the balls on the handstand
gonna go
canes.
one hand
If
here.
you're watching with us here on YouTube, that is very hard to do. It looked very tough. I think he hit himself in a good spot because he came out and he said he was fine. He brought Scooby on. Scooby was jumping around. He said, first off, I'm okay. Just a minor scratch, bruise, thankfully. I appreciate our extended NBA fam that reached out and all the text messages from everyone checking in. Might make no sense, but this only makes me prouder that I try to push my limits and not get complacent. Scooby's a star, without a doubt, but it makes me feel good to try to also be a better hand balancer. And even though this show didn't go as planned, it's proof that we do as acrobats, hand balancers isn't easy.
Yeah.
What they do there is not easy. I'm grateful that this wasn't serious and anxious to get back to it. Much love. He was on Jimmy Fallon the day before that. The day before that incident, while he was also on Jimmy Fallon doing that kind of thing, where he's up doing handstands. That's hard to do.
It's almost like we do need to see this every once in a while to remind us.
Yeah.
Like, what this guy's doing is stupid. Like, well, you know what I mean? You see it a million times, and you're like, you start to think like, oh yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's like I could jump up there and balance on two balls. There you go, no big deal. But yeah, then you see him take a tough fall, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't want him to get hurt, but as you just said, it's good for his reputation to kind of take a tumble because you start talking about it because that gets publicity.
Yeah, a little bit.
Also, being on Jimmy Fallon gets some publicity, I'm sure.
Sure.
But yeah, he was in Minnesota. They were showing him love. He was fine. I think he took that cane stand in the right spot.
Yeah.
That's
like,
probably
well,
good, just above the hip. It looked like.
Right.
So
Just above the groin too.
Yeah.
It could have been bad.
It could have been bad, yeah. But I think his abs are strong because he's doing freaking handstands. So good for him.
I did check in with him. I was
did
one
you?
of those texts. I was part of the NBA family. I said,
Yeah.
"Are you okay, bro?" He wrote back, "Yep, I'm all good. Thanks for checking in, and I appreciate you." And said it was a good scratch and a bruise, nothing serious. So there you go. From Christian himself. Well, maybe Scooby wrote this. I don't know. You never know. I do have Christian and Scooby in my phone. So who knows?
He writes those with those nails.
He did. Did he continue? I assume the performance. He must,
All I saw,
'cause-
he continued on the floor with Scooby. He kept going.
Scooby
He
took
did.
over. Yeah.
He definitely did.
Wow.
Yeah, Scooby was dancing through the hoops.
What a champ.
Great stuff.
One more
Scooby
winner.
unfazed either. Like, didn't even.
Almost a little too unfazed.
Right?
Check in on your guy.
Honestly.
Come on, Scoops. All right. Final winner of the weekend. This is, away from the NBA floor, but to the basketball floor still. It's our guy, Jerome Cheng. That's right. Jerome, we told you last week, was playing in the TMU Sports versus Media charity basketball game up there in Toronto. Jerome was on Team Media representing No Dunks. And he came through, guys. Mm-hmm. Not only did the team get the win, okay, that's important, but check the highlights we've got from Jerome here. Okay, here's a simple assist to Will Liu to start the game. Why not? Wow, what a shot there from Will. Bang, bang, bang. The stats are great, though. We're getting replays?
We got a replay of that one.
Jerome finished with 10 points.
Here he is.
Yep. 4 of 5 from the floor. Very efficient. He's going to go 2 for 3 from deep here. Here's one of them coming up, I believe.
Yeah. There he goes. That's a deep, deep 3.
Yeah. 2 assists to 2 turnovers. We'll live with that. And he threw in a steal. And, he was just a flamethrower out there, Tas.
I love this camera work.
I know. Look, I watched a bit of this broadcast. This was a school project by a team up there. Huge shout out to Karina Mustafa and her team for leading this. I was pretty impressed with the production. I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, this is awesome. The camera work is amazing.
Yeah. And the broadcast was well done. The graphic package, they had sideline reporters and all that. So there's an assist. That was a big shot. But coming up here, this is a big one. Tie game. There's about a minute to go. Jerome hits the go-ahead shot, and that was a difference maker. Now, he did say he's an honest man, this Jerome. He said, I didn't mean to bank it.
Oh.
But it looked like it did.
Could have fooled us.
Yeah,
you fooled me. Thought he pulled the Dwayne Wade, the Russell Westbrook, bank it, but he also pointed to his veins, the old
he was
dame.
doing a lot of that. He did a couple threes to the head, the threes to the dome there.
Well done.
Congrats to Jerome. Congrats to Team Media. And again, congrats to that entire team up there for the Sport versus Media charity basketball game. JD, I think you'd be very impressed. I think it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch it.
Yep.
Go back and
you want to go grade it for them?
Yeah, I'll grade it.
Okay.
I'll grade it.
Just like you talked about the drones weren't great 10 years ago. Also, our camera work, we didn't get one of those.
No.
We didn't get one of those games.
No.
That would have been
Well, we
nice.
could have
Instead
done
of
it.
stupid Jays game.
We did a Jays game. Camera work was great. JD, you directed a great
Thank you
game
very
back
much.
in 2005 or whenever it was.
Yeah,
it was
but hold
good.
on. These are two different things, right? Like
Yeah.
This was their final
They put the
practicum
whole
project.
thing
3 months. Yeah, they worked on
Yeah.
this.
It was great.
Awesome stuff. Jerome representing for No Dunks, too. We love to see it. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, NBA weekend losers. Nothing hits like giving the perfect gift. And no gift fits more perfectly than an Indochino suit. They're made to measure and totally customizable with endless options. You can choose your own cut, your own fabric, lining, and more to create the suit of your dreams at a surprisingly affordable price. That's why you got to consider an Indochino gift card for that perfect fit gift, or use the code NODUNKS at Indochino.com to get 10% off any purchase of $3.99 or more. But look, when it comes to Indochino, we're always talking about the blazers and the pants and the dress shirts. Let's not sleep on the outerwear.
Interesting.
It's finally jacket season down here in the south, which is why I've had my eye on the Haywood olive trench coat and the Bradford buffalo plaid gray bomber jacket. And if I'm being honest, I can't decide between the two. One's the trench coat, one's the bomber jacket. I'm just going to get them both.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear them at the same time.
Get all of them.
Yeah, that's right. Indochino makes getting measured easy. You can set up your measurement profile in less than 10 minutes, either from the comfort of your own home or by making an appointment at one of their showrooms. From timeless classics to bold statements, express your style exactly how you want. New colors, fabrics, and outerwear styles. It's easy to create your next look. You just choose the customizations you want. Again, we're talking everything from like the buttons and the vents to the pockets and lapels. Select your styles and they will build it. High quality items designed and made to fit you. There's only one of you, all right? So make something customized to your fit. Give the perfect fit gift with Indochino. Go to Indochino.com and use the code NODUNKS to get 10% off any purchase of $3.99 or more. That's 10% off at INDOCHINO.com with that code NODUNKS. All right.
Great stuff.
Let's get to the NBA weekend losers, okay? Which teams, which performances, whatever you want is on your loser of the weekend list.
I'm keeping mine extremely simple here. Again, it's the plays that are standing out to me from this past weekend. And Clint Capela of the Atlanta Hawks, he got Clint capped by Jaylen Brown. He dunked on his head. Clint Capela, unfortunately, he was sort of under the rim. He came out like 1 foot from Jaylen Brown, for Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown, when he has the ball up top, he kind of dances a little bit.
Yep.
And then when he sees an opportunity to go at the rim, he goes. And he went hard. And he dunked on Clint Capela, who just ate it. He had nothing better to do. He tried to go up, but the Celtics got one done against the Atlanta Hawks, so I've got to call Clint Capela the loser here. This would have been a very, very tough win for the Hawks. This is a back-to-back for them because they did beat the Wizards on Saturday night. And I just want to note the Celtics here, they do have enough depth to go around their injuries. Kristaps Porzingis, he's going to be out, and he's out at least a week.
Yeah.
Reevaluated in a week with that calf strain. I wonder, how long he's going to be out, if he's going to be able to come back. We've seen these injuries before with him in the playoffs. That Dallas Clippers note that I said earlier, that's what he looked like. And Drew Holiday was out in this game. But Delano Banton, our former Raptor, he was playing hard off the bench. Maybe he's not a three-point shooter. Maybe you don't want him to handle the ball all the time, but he plays hard on both ends. He goes at the rim, and he plays hard defensively. And Nemish Keita also doing his thing as the Celtics coaching staff noted after the game. They said that dude changed things. They got enough guys playing really, really hard to get around these injuries. So they get a W, but Clint Cap, he got the loss, unfortunately, in this one.
Yeah. Did you see the crowd reaction to that dunk, too?
Yeah.
They gave
good
us some
reactions.
great shots of fans going bonkers, everybody dropping it on their head and just
Yeah.
like wow faces. Yeah, it was a big dunk. I'll pile on the Hawks as the loser of the weekend, too, because on a fast break in that Saturday victory over the Wizards, Jalen Johnson took a foul from Kuzma that sent him to the floor really hard, and he appeared to hurt his left wrist while he was bracing for contact with the ground. He stepped to the free throw line, took his 2 free throw attempts, and then he didn't return. On Sunday, we found out it was pretty bad. Shams reported that Johnson is expected to miss about 4 to 6 weeks. Now, the Hawks themselves said he was diagnosed with a left distal radius fracture there in his wrist, and he will be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. So Hawks saying 3 to 4 reevaluation. Shams is already looking ahead, probably 4 to 6 weeks until he can maybe return. Good news, there's no need for surgery, I believe. You're going to have to rest this one. But this sucks. This sucks for the Hawks because, Jalen Big Johnson, print the T-shirts, he was having a breakout season. I mean, he was probably on the short list for most improved player candidates. He was averaging 14-7, 2.5 assists, and he was shooting 42% from deep. And he was like a really, really, bright spot for Hawks fans in terms of tuning, like for 2 reasons. One, he's fun as hell to watch because he can obviously hit the 3 a little bit. There was some growth to his game. He was a blast in transition, both ends, either chasing down guys for blocks or dunking in transition. And then he also was like a bright spot for Hawks fans in terms of like the long-term success of the team, right? Like he looks like a building piece. So from that perspective, it really sucks too. So he's going to be out here for a little bit. I guess maybe this means AJ Griffin sort of steps into that role and will get a chance. He did at least on Sunday. He didn't look all that great or play all that well, but Big Johnson on the shelf.
AJ Griffin has been sort of in the rotation, sort of not at times. But the reason they were fine giving up John Collins was because Jalen Johnson was going to be in that starting lineup. So they rely on him, for sure. Now, they struggle defensively 100%, but they hope that somebody like Jalen Johnson and DeJounte Murray step up a little bit. And Trae Young, who Red Glasses Quinn Snyder says is ready to go defensively and is having his best season defensively. I love Quinn Snyder's red glasses that he sports. Those red frames that he's okay wearing them.
Sally Jesse Raphael. I said, though, it would have been slick if he, how they do the blue court for the in-season tournament, and I was down there not too long ago for one of those games. He should go with blue glasses for that.
Oh.
Should match his glass frames to the floor, to the colors of the team.
Yeah.
That'd be next level.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
And that floor is good. I know there's some great, some not so great. That floor is good. The Orlando Magic one that we just mentioned down in Disney World that Trey should go to, very good.
The Dallas Cowboys court.
It was the Cowboys court?
It does look like it.
Why do you call that? Why is it the Cowboys court?
Because it's the star and it's the star and the colors. I mean, are very Cowboys-like. Yes. Which is bad, and it's a great brand. It's a great look. Yeah, I like it.
Somebody drew that star once upon a time.
Yes. You don't think they
I don't think
have
they
a
stole it
trademark
exactly.
on that? No?
I don't know. I was in Allen Martin was my middle school.
Okay.
And somebody drew the star as part of the logo. Did they see the Cowboys once upon a time?
They just saw a star, maybe.
Yeah. Alan M. Martin. What the heck was it called? That's why I slowly
I was
call
going
him.
to say,
Like,
what
there's a middle.
This,
There's
I've
a
never
middle
heard you
national.
talk about this
That's
school.
where I went to middle school.
I only know you're Great and Gordian school.
Yeah, we called it Great and Gordian. Yeah, we called it the Magic. And so that's why they got the star. And maybe it was from the Orlando Magic.
That's
we
possible.
did just start school right after the Orlando Magic came along. Did we?
Yeah,
basically.
In
Yeah,
the
whatever.
late 80s.
They came out in the 80s? Oh, we started way later than that.
Weren't they? I think they were 89.
89, something
89
like
or
89,
91,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was 90. Anyway, doesn't matter. Magic, have a good court. They play defense way harder than the Atlanta Hawks. Way harder than the Atlanta Hawks. So, Jalen Johnson out, yes, but A.J. Griffin, we thought he could be part of the rotation.
Yeah.
It's an interesting move from Quinn Snyder because they're comfortable throwing Sadiq Bey off the bench in that sort of rotation, and he struggles defensively a lot of the time. So maybe A.J. Griffin can jump in and show Quinn I can play both ends.
When I was down at the Fortress last week, some Hawks fans were kicking around the idea of maybe they're looking to trade A.J. Griffin along with a Capela, and maybe that's sort of a package to go and make something happen because he was sort of out of the rotation, wasn't getting a lot of opportunity. But I wonder, first off, I have no idea if any of that's true, but maybe that game plan has changed now too, that with Jalen Johnson unfortunately out for probably a month at the very least there, with a pretty rough fall there, if you saw that one.
Yeah, Clint Capela was in a lot of trade rumors last year. Remember the Dallas Mavericks hoping to get him. So I thought Clint Capela was probably deep in his 30s just because I heard them so many times. But he's only 29.
Is he really?
I'm a little surprised by that. Yeah, very surprised by that. But I wonder, like we just said, with the forward position, they went from John Collins into the Jalen Johnson role. There have been talks that they go from Clint Capela to the Onyeka Okongwu role. So that just seems like it's going to happen at some point.
Makes too much sense. But then again, we waited 3 years to trade, or they traded for them to trade John Collins.
That's a fair point.
They slow played here.
Yeah.
All right. NBA weekend loser to the Chicago Bulls. Trey's not here to defend his team. I don't think he would, though. No, they are a deserving loser of the weekend. When you're in the running for a loser of the weekend nod here on No Dunks is when I see this tweet from Worldwide Wob. Bulls fans therapy session. Let it all out. This is a safe place. You never want to see that tweet. You never want to see that tweet from Worldwide Wob because that means your team's down bad. And they are. The Bulls have now lost 4 straight, 7 of their last 9. On Friday night in the No Dunks Bowl, in the IST game, OG matched his season high with 26 points. Raptors beat the Bulls pretty handedly, 121-108. So they eliminated the Bulls from contention. Alex Caruso left in the third quarter. He didn't return. DeRozan got ejected because he was all pissed off that Darko and the Raptors were trying to run up the score because Darko thought the point differential still mattered to the Raptors in the in-season tournament games. Man. So it was all bad for the Bulls there on Friday night. And then they follow it up on Sunday. They start the game red hot. They are cooking the Nets. I forget what the lead was. It was hilarious. It looked like a football score, like 3 touchdowns to a field goal. And then the Nets in the second quarter, they couldn't miss. They made an NBA season best 25 three-pointers in the 118-109 victory over Chicago. And now the Bulls are 5-13. So losses, 2 losses to 2 teams that the Bulls are always comparing themselves to, right? That's like, nobody has the Bulls at the top of the Eastern Conference, but within that tier of the Nets and teams like the Raptors, yes, they lost to both of them. And it looks bad. It looks so bad. They're already 4 games out of the number 10 seed, so we're talking play-in. They're closer to the basement. They're closer to the Pistons and the Wizards than they are really to play-in right now. It's their worst start over 18 games since 2018-19 when they finished 22-60. Yeah, the Bulls are back to being bad. Yeah, unfortunately.
It would be really weird to see so many teams that are at the bottom of standings and not close to the play-in tournament. That would feel weird to me later in the season because the play-in tournament is there because a lot of teams can get there. But like you just said, right now it's the Hornets, Bulls, Pistons, and Wizards, nowhere close. So there's 4 teams in that conference, nowhere close. And then the Jazz, Blazers, Grizzlies, and Spurs in that one as well.
Right.
At this point. I mean, that may change, but that's a lot of teams. 4 of the 15 aren't anywhere close, and 11 of the 10. 11 can get in to the 10 spots, I should say. Anyway, the point differential, talking about another tournament, the in-season tournament, point differential is very important. A lot of coaches playing for it. That's good for the in-season tournament. Just if you implement the in-season tournament, you want teams playing for it. Teams care about the point differential.
They really do. We've seen it
really
in a
do.
couple of games now where teams try and run up the score because, it might come down to a tiebreaker. In this one, I understand why DeRozan was a little pissed because, I think the Raptors were officially already eliminated by the time that was all happening, so it was pointless. But anyway, he just probably wanted off the floor. He gave Masai Ujiri a nice hug while he was going to the back.
Full hug.
Here's where the Bulls are at. We all know they just have to do something. They have to tear this down. They have to trade one of these, if not two of these, if not three of these big guys, because Zach LaVine and DeRozan and Vucevic, they were never good enough. If we're just being completely honest, as a big three. And now all three have noticeably dropped off even more this year. So they got to do something, and they're probably just waiting until either December 15th or maybe even January 15th where you can trade for more guys or include more guys. And it's really bad though. I mean, the vibes are brutal, and then anytime Caruso's not out there, they look like a real joke defensively. Rough weekend.
It took the Bulls one game to have a players meeting at the beginning of the season. That's a bad sign. I will say though, those big three, they need certain types of players around them.
Yeah.
When they went and got these players, they had Lonzo Ball at the point guard spot, and that was perfect. They looked so good with the four of them playing, but the Lonzo Ball injury, after doing so much defensively, he's just involved in every freaking possession. He's just going so hard defensively. They looked great. The record with Lonzo Ball and these three guys is good, but unfortunately Lonzo Ball can't play. So things are very, very different.
And man, I don't know if it's because he's just tired of the losing and maybe the positions he's put in, or maybe it's age. I don't know. But Vucevic cannot hang with anyone right now. I mean, teams exploit him. It looks like he's got cement blocks on his feet. He just can't move with anyone, and it's putting the team at a disadvantage. But you're right. You need some of those other perimeter defensive guys to help out in that regard. They have to. We're just waiting for them to do something. I actually think they will, but again, it might just be until that December 15th or even the January 15th, which is still, it's a couple weeks of potentially losing more games here.
Yeah. And Vucevic isn't being paid a ton, so it's a good contract to be able to be dealt now. The standard $20 million starting center guy who doesn't do enough. They overpaid for him in that trade. It looked good because of how things were coming together. At least they're going for it when they traded for him, but now a couple of years later, things aren't going.
I will say, whatever happens in terms of a trade, I don't think it's going to be like salvaging this season. It's going to be a young prospect and draft pick capital, because I don't think there's a big name or a notable name that would save the season. I don't think they're getting an Austin Reeves, or they're not getting an OG Pro. They're not getting I'm not even talking superstar players here. I'm talking second tier guys here, but I don't think even that's coming back. It has to be draft picks and maybe a young star that you can squint and see, there's potential there. But it could be a long season here for the Bulls.
Yeah. I wonder if Zach LaVine wants out, because this team shouldn't be 5-13.
No.
They should not be 5-13. They went for it this past offseason as a team that could get into the play-in tournament. They went for it. They got Torrey Craig. They got Patrick Beverley. Guys that could help out and provide that support. Javon Carter even. Those are all solid players, but the top end right now, as you said, with Vooch not being able to do what he does, and LaVine, and unfortunately DeRozan, who's upset at times, it doesn't look good.
Billy Donovan said after the second loss there, "I've always talked about adversity and challenges and difficulties, and to me, I think there's one, a lot to learn through adversity, and two, the solution to adversity would not to be shut down. If you do that, that would be the worst thing to do." He's saying we're shutting down here when we sort of get punched in the mouth a little bit. Look, he probably should not be the coach of the Chicago Bulls, but I know he just had the extension kick in and all that. They're cheapskates, within that organization when it comes to okay, this is just dead money here. Let's pivot, But he shouldn't be. I don't think that we've seen anything here, and he's lost this team, and it's just going to get worse here until they shake it up. I would imagine. Who else you got for a loser of the weekend?
I'm going to force this one in here. Like we just said about the Bulls, who kind of faded away. The Wizards kind of faded away. I'm going to blame them. And also their fans. Because, listen, they're Weekend wasn't all that bad. They had a good loss against the Bucks on Friday. That was a close loss. Had lost 7 straight going in, so they fought against the Bucks. They ended up losing. Then they played Atlanta Saturday. This comment from Wizards guard Landry Shamet, this got me going. He said this about Saturday's loss to the Hawks at home in Washington. The energy in the building was down. That's when you got to be able to create some energy for yourself. We never did that. They're 2-14. This is early for fans not to be cheering or not to have some energy. It's almost quarter point, 9 straight loss there. And it's odd because, they don't have Bulls talent at the top of their list, but they do have guys. I mean, they're paying Jordan Poole a lot of money. He is at the top, 27 mil. They just signed Kyle Kuzma, 25 mil, but I like how it's a declining contract. It goes down to 19 at the end. But both those guys right now, that's a lot of money. And then you extended Denny Avdia, who's playing fine, but they just don't have a lot of hope. A lot of hope right now, other than Bilal Coulibaly. He's doing some things off the bench, but they just have top end pay right now. They are paying guys. They are going up against the Detroit Pistons tonight, Monday. 2 of the worst teams in the NBA. Actually, the 2 worst records in the NBA. Both of them at 2-14 are the worst records. So tonight.
This is a big game for you and me.
Yeah. So, and then
this is a nut dust bowl game.
A nut dust game.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that.
You're the Pistons. I'm the Wizards. You don't want to finish with the worst record overall, or you're eating a bunch of nut dust.
I don't know. Might be looking forward to that, to be honest.
Sure. It depends on what the nuts are.
Yeah, it depends. When I think nut dust, I also think seasoning. I think some
rosemaries, maybe.
It's gonna be good.
I think there's gonna be a lot of coughing. Yeah. We might have a no water rule. So it's basically going to be like a weird cinnamon challenge up in here. But it's a big one for you and me. I don't know who wins it. If you have a read on this game, Zards or Pistons, you can probably get into the arena for $10, I'm sure. But it's bad for Washington. It's embarrassingly bad. I saw Kelly Dwyer write in his newsletter this morning that there are like 20 good teams right now in the NBA, plus the Nets and Raptors. Probably he's trying to decide where to put them. But he's got a point because the Bulls and Grizzlies want to win, but they don't. And then there are 6 teams that are just inherently bad. Wizards, Pistons, Hornets, Blazers, Jazz, and Spurs. And again, he's got sort of the Nets, Raptors. It feels like he's got them sort of like, are they good or are they really bad? I think they're leaning more towards good than bad teams that we listed there. But it's a good point. Yeah. But wild that some of those teams I said are in that group. I would say it's most specific. I'd say the Wizards. I don't think anybody thought they were going to be like, oh, they're 45 win, but this is really bad.
This is bad.
2-14. Same with Detroit too.
Poole can't find his flow as a number 1 guy. No. Not at all. So that's a problem. This is a very different role for him, and he was missing from that last game. I didn't mention that, but I didn't particularly care about that. They should be better, no matter what. And I wanted to know what Landry Shamet said. Hey, Washington fans, I want to hear you. That was I know it's been a problem. Can we blame
them even? I mean, it's been very bad for a couple seasons now.
Yeah.
And it's even worse to start this season. And what are you cheering for? Jordan Poole, taking a shot with 18 on the shot clock and turning around like it's going in before it even drops, and it doesn't?
No. Put Alexander Ovechkin's face on the screen or something.
play Capitals games?
Well, just his face. I think his face. I think people will like his face. They'll cheer for his face. I don't know. It's tough to find something to cheer for. That's true. But the good thing about the salary floor is that you got to pay players. And so it is surprising that, again, 8 teams in this league aren't that good. Because they do have good players. Because you got to play some players.
I obviously didn't think it would be this bad. But I didn't think the Pistons would be 2-14 either. I was talking up the Pistons after the first week of the season. Like, whoa, this is a scrappy team. Watch out. They can't beat anyone right now. Somebody has to win tonight. That's
so who you got? Who you got tonight?
Well, the Zards. Come on, man. The Zards are going to lay the beat down on your Pistons tonight.
Can't wait.
Neither can I. One more NBA weekend loser. It's Wembanyama. Not really him, though. Whoever was in charge of spelling his name on the back of his jersey there on Friday night. Yeah, Wembanyama played the entire first quarter with his name spelled as Wembanyama. We had another N there instead of an M. right at the end of his name. And after the loss, Wembanyama said he didn't even realize the misspelling during the game, though he did say it was a real shame. I don't know why that made me laugh. This is a real shame. Was it, though? He shot 3 for 4 from the field when he was wearing the incorrect spelled jersey. Because I think they caught it pretty early. I think he switched in to the new jersey in the second quarter. But, look, you created some valuable memorabilia here, right? Couldn't the Spurs auction this off? I know Sotheby's just did his debut jersey from his first game as a rookie. How much do you think it went for? What do you think a Victor Wembanyama debut jersey against the Mavs recently auctioned off for? Yeah, where would you even start?
How many digits? I'm definitely going 5. I'm going 5 digits.
You can go up to 6, my friend.
6, yeah. Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I didn't have the guts. 300K?
300K? More than double. $760,000
I should have, yeah.
for that debut jersey there. So what do you do? Does this one, is this one more memorable?
No.
No,
I got to say
No?
no. Listen, I'm a huge Wembanyama fan. Having been at Summer League, seeing that poor first game and then seeing him go skyrocket into that second game.
Yeah.
So I can understand why you'd want to pay for it. But a Wembanyama jersey that's spelled incorrectly, I think Greg Popovich would take the mic and tell people not to boo at that.
Boy.
Don't buy that. Don't buy that. Don't boo Kawhi Leonard.
God, that happened. It feels like it happened so long ago, but we
Yeah.
hadn't done a show since
hadn't.
then. Yes.
Yeah,
What did you think of? Let's before we move to tweet of the night, what did you think of Greg Popovich taking the mic in San Antonio and telling Spurs fans to stop booing Kawhi Leonard? Stop it. We're better than this. Show some class.
I at first said, wow, I love Pop. I like it. I like him just grabbing the mic and being able to do that. Not many coaches would just grab a mic and be able to do that. At the same time, fans can do what they want. They pay a lot of money. They can boo Kawhi Leonard, who didn't leave all that well. He played really hard. They helped win a championship, obviously. He's the finals freaking MVP. But his leave was not all that memorable for them. It didn't. And it soured a lot of people. So it's fine by me. It's fine.
It just made them boo more, too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And Pop was trying to spin it like, you don't poke the bear. That's what he kept saying after the game. So he was trying to spin it quickly into, I'm telling you to stop booing. Because a player of his caliber, the more you boo, the worse it's going to be for us.
That's true. That's true.
Which
Players
is true,
say
but
that.
I don't think that's what he was actually doing when he first took the mic. I think he started to realize, like, I'm going to have to spin this. What's my move here? What's my PR move? But anyway, I thought it was, it's hilarious. It's really funny. I know our friend Gourmet Spud was firing off the tweets about it, making fun of it.
I think it's great to see a coach grab a mic. We didn't ever see that.
Well, we have. Doc Rivers grabbed a mic and told Clippers fans back in the day to cheer Dirk Nowitzki. It was his final game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, you may not remember it because I don't think the PA team did a great job when Doc had the mic. You could sort of it wasn't coming through crystal clear. San Antonio, they knocked it out of the park. You could hear Pop perfectly. But really weird. Let's hear from you on that one. We had a poll up on our YouTube community page. Was it a classy move by Pop, or was it out of pocket? The votes were leaning towards classy more than they were out of pocket.
Did you like Doc when he did it? Because I couldn't wait to hear the impression.
That one is more. There are obviously two completely different scenarios here. Doc is saying this is a legend. Let's show him the respect, and Dirk was loving it, and the fans did, and that was cool.
That was cool.
This is Pop telling his own fan base what they should do or shouldn't do. That's a little much. They want to boo him, and they booed him even more. So, so it backfired. Maybe he knew that. Maybe he knew it all along. Mm-hmm. All right, those are our winners and losers of the NBA weekend. Who'd we miss? What'd we miss? Which teams you want us to talk about? We're here all week, so we'll make sure to slip them in. Let us know here in the
got a big game tonight.
It's the Nut Dust Bowl game. Everybody's excited. Everybody's pumped up. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow. Twitter.
So, tweet of the night, I wanted to make Thanksgiving themed still, as we sort of put a button on that, the long weekend that we had here in the States. So, Kevin O'Connor, NBA, KOC, he tweeted with a video, Shaedon Sharpe really loves mac and cheese. And KOC's right. Let's roll the clip.
Mashed potatoes or mac and cheese?
Ooh, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or butternut squash?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or cranberry sauce?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or creamed spinach?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or sweet potato casserole?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or scalloped potatoes?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or Brussels sprouts?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or buttermilk biscuits?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or steamed broccoli?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or stuffing?
Mac and mac and cheese. Got to.
Mac and cheese or cornbread?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or salad?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or sweet potato soup?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese or Jell-O casserole?
Mac and cheese.
There you go. The Would You Rather with Shaedon Sharpe. Really loving mac and cheese. He nearly changed when he got to stuffing, which I think, like JD, you said before we went live here that they weren't throwing him some great options.
No, I'm with him for 90% of those. I mean, stuffing, mashed potatoes, but that's Jell-O casserole.
I know. Salad? I mean, come on.
Sweet potato casserole. Yeah. I mean, I know I hate sweet potatoes, and the picture there was marshmallows melted on top.
Yeah,
gross.
Yeah. What'd you think about Sharpe running the gauntlet there for mac and cheese?
I respect him, but salad is good, Skeets.
Well, yeah,
you need a salad. You need a salad.
Yeah, we all need a salad, but you're not going to take it over mac and cheese, are you?
No, it's just like he gave you 15. They gave him 15 options. You kind of have to say yes. You kind of feel like you're helping produce, and you kind of want some variation.
Oh, by flip-flopping a little bit. Yeah, you're right.
But at the same time, I'm wrong because we're playing that clip.
This doesn't go viral if he keeps, like, when he gets to stuffing, he says stuffing. Everyone goes, okay, yeah, stuffing's great. But him running with mac and cheese becomes funny, yeah.
That was great. Americans don't even really call it stuffing, though, do they? Or is it just
I never have understood this dressing versus stuffing debate.
Because they may have changed it for our Canadian friend, Shaedon Sharpe.
Oh, yeah, right.
Interesting.
But, I mean, so what did you call it growing up?
No, stuffing.
Stuffing, yeah, so did we.
I didn't know what dressing was.
But I always
until
thought
I got
one
here.
was, like, in the bird, and one
stuffing,
wasn't.
I assume. Because you stuff it in the bird.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what it has to do with it at all.
Yeah, I thought they were just like different words for the same thing growing up, but it was always stuffing in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
And mac and cheese, not a thing for Canadian Thanksgiving, at least at my house. Like
totally.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever had it in Canada at the
No.
Thanksgiving table in October, but definitely here. I had a bunch on Thursday at Trey's house. It was good.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah,
I don't even know who made that. Was that Laura? Maybe it was Laura.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's good. What is Jell-O casserole? Sorry, JD. I got it.
No clue.
What is that thing?
Look gross.
I've never heard of it. I mean, I guess I've seen sort of like people showing up with a Jell-O, but it's, what do you call it?
So it's in like a cake.
I think you can put shit like fruit into it, sort of thing. It's like a dessert, right? I don't know though. I don't know. Or maybe it's a cranberry sauce type thing. Jell-O. Cranberry Jell-O, is that even a thing? Anyways.
So the ones that you would have maybe pivoted from mac and cheese, JD, were what? Stuffing,
mashed potatoes, scalloped potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would have, yeah. If it was scalloped potatoes versus all of those, it would be scalloped potatoes.
Yeah,
I would have been Shaedon all the way.
Shaedon all the way.
Scalloped potatoes, scalloped potatoes, scalloped potatoes, scalloped potatoes.
You would have went viral.
I know.
All right. Glad we got that tweet in. Thank you to KOC for bringing that to our attention. And Shaedon Sharpe, really loving mac and cheese. Can't go wrong with a good mac and cheese. Let's call it there. We'll be back tomorrow. Tas and I here in the Classic Factory all week long. Join us at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Make sure you go take advantage of those Cyber Monday deals. Go to nodunks.com or breakingtea.com and take advantage. A lot of the shirts, a lot of the hoodies on sale right now. Make the perfect Christmas gift. So please do that if you haven't done so. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave your boys a 5-star rating and review, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, you got to say no to bunt cake. I see it here in the comments. Bunt cake? Get out of here. It's like Jell-O casserole, but with cake.
Same shape for sure.
Same shape. Same shape.
Same sharp, yeah.
Sharp
Shade and shape.
shapes.
Brace the day, people.